Get the chef in the kitchen here. Happy Sunday morning. Saying goodbye to everybody. Boo. So sad. Good morning. We're heading to Clifford's Tower this morning. It's a Norman motte Baile castle that defended William the Conqueror's York. So looks like a fun climb. Let's go check it out. Come around the corner and you get to see Clifford's Tower. That's cool. There's tiny people attacking the fort. Okay, about 200 steps from now we'll be up there. All right, we made it up the first flight of steps. This little circle here is considered, or at least this area really, is the Eye of York. It's where the York Castle would have been and Clifford's Tower would have been. It would have been a royal castle at one time. Clifford's Tower is an English heritage site. We had our card and so went in for free. If you don't have your card, it's $9.50 at the door. You can get a 10% discount if you book online, and then you get discounts for seniors and families, or you can just get the membership. A lot of times English Heritage runs discount deals, so look online before you buy a membership. We got ours in April for, I think it was 50% off. Looked like they had one running now that was 20 to 25% off. They got these great storyboards around here. This says, in 1068, the people of the North rebelled. So William the Conqueror led an army to York, where he built this fortress out of wood on top of his motte. But in 1069, another rebellion broke out, and this castle was set on fire. So William came again, repaired the castle fortress, and then built another one across the river that's called, it's on Baile Hill now, which is the motte that they would have erected for a second fortress. Also around that same time, the river Foss was flooded to make a moat that went around this area to make it harder to attack. So there's a Jewish massacre here where during the time of Richard I, during his crusades, or the start of his crusades, there was anti-Jewish sentiment there in York and across the country. So they feared that the Jewish community would be in trouble. So they were put up here in the tower, and instead an angry mob surrounded the tower, and like many of the Jews inside feared for their lives, and instead of going out into the hands of the mob, they committed suicide. And the mob did indeed attack the fortress, and the people they found inside, they killed everyone who was left. So when Henry III was preparing against war in Scotland, he came and rebuilt this fortress in stone. That would have been in around the 1240s. This current tower was actually finished in 1298. We learned at York Minster that when their wars in Scotland were happening, that the government actually relocated to York so that the king and the treasury could be closer to the front lines. You could see a huge orange chunk along the wall. If you remember, we talked about on the wall the magnesian limestone. When it gets hot, I think one of the gates there, one of the bars had been set on fire, and so when it gets hot, it turns these bricks orange. And sure enough, there was a fire in the late 1600s when Charles was restored to be the king. Supposedly the gunpowder store blew up as a sabotage against this tower. People hated what this tower represented in projecting royal power. In 1902, Basil Motte, Motte, that's kind of cool. Motte buried 5 flying buttresses in the earth around the the tower to save it, and so they restored it to a lot of what it looked like hundreds of years ago, and preserved this for us to go enjoy today. Okay, go for it. The King's Chapel. Of course, if you got to have a tower, you got to have a chapel in it.
It's leaning precariously.
Yeah, look at it. It is leaning. It looks like you're about to slide out inside. Here's more signs of the fire in 1684, these red stones. But this room leans, so they had to reinforce it with brick. And so a lot of this was rebuilt in brick instead of stone. We kind of learned in the York Minster that there's like a huge amount of clay underneath York. So like today we wouldn't build a huge building like that on top of clay because it would cause things like this. Okay, onward and upward. Oh, is that there's a metal catwalk here?
Do we keep going up or walk across?
Nice metal stairs now going up to the very top. So if you don't like the little tight, twisty stone ones, you can easily make it up here. I was here 5 years ago. They didn't have this deck, I'm pretty sure we just walked along the stone outside, right down by the walls. What's over that way?
The racetrack that we were at last Sunday. And whatever that factory is.
Oh yeah, there's some candy factory that's maybe next to it. Here's the Spark where we were the other day on our food tour. All the walls over by York Castle is on that side, and you can see the walls that go up toward Fisher Gate, or in the Fisher Gate postern. And then here's the walls down here. These walls would have actually been across a moat. So the street would have been like what the moat is, and then the walls would have run down to the Davy Tower guarding one side of the river, Ouse, and then on the other side would have been another tower with a chain running between the two that could have been raised to protect the river. You've got this Clifford's Tower here, and then the Ouse River is right down there, and then Baile Hill is this tall where the trees are poking over the top. So that would be the other Motte and Baile castle. So at the end of the day, you had walls or water that pretty much protected the whole castle complex that went from the Fisher Gate Tower, and then you had water, and then you had the castle walls or the moat, and then you had a tiny bit of wall between the moat and the Davy Tower, and then it picked up again on the other side of the Ouse River, and the walls continued around. Stairwell is really leaning. It's on an angle, so you're kind of going as you're going down the spirals. Oh, that's crazy. You can see the lean here from the car park next door. It's going that way. We made our way back to York Coco for a little Indonesian and a little bit of, this isn't real chocolate, I've been told, but it's good. We have something cool here in a press pot. It's cocoa nib tea. So it's just tea with the cocoa nibs are the things flavoring the water.
In the hot water.
How is it? You said it's very watery.
I'm missing water, but it has a nice aroma.
It smells like chocolate,
yeah.
Tastes like water. But we have chocolate with us, so we're all good. Okay, we're here at Clucking Oinks, trying out the wings, and it says parental advisory. This is the confit garlic fries. This is delicious. It's Got like a garlic mayo aioli on it, and sesame seeds and some other type of seed, and the little spring onions. That's very addictive. This is the Nashville hot. This is delicious. Got a great like buttermilk crust on it, and then just the right amount of heat. Good stuff. Hey, here's the entrance to some Roman bath museum. I'm not sure what that's all about. If maybe there's Roman baths down below here. If you like this content, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing.